In this video, we're tracking a very active storm pattern. A parade of storms will affect the United States. Very cold temperatures are expected later this week, with temperatures 20 to 30 degrees below average. Before that though, a storm system will impact much of the country, bringing snow to parts of the south. Let's get into all the details. Hey everybody, Will here, back again with the weather, and we got a lot to talk about today per usual. Anything from an Arctic blast to snow in parts of the mid-south, and even more severe weather. So currently going on across the country, we got some snow over near the Great Lakes, a little bit of ice to the south of that, and a lot of rain extending anywhere from the Gulf up into the northeast. There is a little bit of a severe weather threat on the south side right here. However, it shouldn't be anything like the last couple of days. If you guys know, on Saturday there was an EF4 tornado in Iowa, and unfortunately 6 lives were lost. And yesterday in Arkansas on Sunday there was a few tornadoes too. Surveys are still ongoing to figure out the damage, but today the threat is much lower. Other than that, we have a little bit of snow over in the Rockies, but it's pretty quiet on this side of the country. And of course this will change just like everything in the weather does, and things are going to once again ramp up. Alrighty, so first things first, we're going to take a look at what's going on over the next couple days. And as you can see here, as we go into Wednesday morning into the afternoon, this area of light to moderate snow breaks out across parts of the northeast. This will happen during rush hour, and there could be a couple inches of snow in some spots. Let's zoom in and take a look at this. Alrighty, so we switched over to the NAM because it's a more high resolution model and it'll help give a general idea of timing, impacts, and locations. So as we go into 6 a.m. right here, rain and snow is starting for areas like Philadelphia, parts of New Jersey, and Washington, D.C., I think you're going to start as a little bit of snow but quickly switch over to rain. I don't think impacts will be as heavy down there. However, if you are driving in the morning, be sure to take things a little bit slower. As we head toward noon, the snow and rain starts to spread up to the north. Areas like Philadelphia, New York City, up into Boston, you guys are all starting to see some light to moderate snow. It could even be a little bit heavier in some spots. As we go through the afternoon, this rain-snow line is going to move up to the north just a little bit. Areas up north of this line should remain snow for the most part. However, if you're in between here, there could be some rain mixing in. And as we go later into the afternoon, you can see that line of rain and snow moves to the north. And areas like Philadelphia could be ending as a rain-snow mix. New York City, you could be seeing a little bit of rain, but it should be mainly snow. Meanwhile, up in Boston, you guys are all remaining snow, as well as Connecticut and Rhode Island. By the time we move into the overnight hours, things really start to taper off and it moves out of here. As for amounts, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, locally a little bit higher, right in this area. It's going to end as rain in a little bit of these areas, so that could help melt some of that snow. But since this is occurring in the afternoon hours in a lot of places, travel impacts could be expected anywhere from Philadelphia to New York City up toward Boston. So as I mentioned, if you're driving on the roads, be sure to take things a little bit slower and be careful out there. And now we'll switch over and take a look at the bigger picture. Alrighty, so here's a look at Wednesday afternoon into the evening. We got this system moving out of the northeast, and our big picture is this thing right here. It doesn't look like much, but in a few minutes you'll see why. We got a trough right here, and as this goes to the south, it deepens, and you can see that right here, and a storm system starts to develop on it near the Gulf Coast. So now we have this big trough across much of the country, and this is bringing in cold air from the north, and you can see this Arctic high pressure right here just forcing all that cold air down to the south. And in front of that trough, this low pressure develops, and it's going to strengthen and shoot off toward the northeast. And you can see with that Arctic air in place, you have snow in parts of the mid-south. Texas, Arkansas, up into the Ohio Valley, you guys could all see a couple inches of heavy wet snow. And this is for Friday afternoon into the evening. And as we go into overnight Friday, this low pressure really starts to get cranking, and it's bringing snow as far south as Mississippi, Alabama, and even parts of northern Georgia up toward the Great Lakes. And that's not very common this far south, especially for this time of year. And right behind this storm system, you got a whole lot of cold air diving into the country. Meanwhile, over on the west coast, we still have this ridge in place, bringing pretty calm and warm weather. There's a little bit of activity up near Seattle, but other than that, it's pretty quiet over there. As we go into the weekend, you can see the storm system really starts cranking up on the northeast coast. The area of low pressure is not offshore though, so it's bringing in rain across parts of the northeast. However, if you're a little bit more inland, like Philadelphia, up in upstate New York, you guys are all on the edge of rain and snow. And the farther west you go, the better chances you have for accumulating snow. As we go into Sunday, there's some lingering snow behind this. However, it really starts to move out. And then our eyes look back to the west on another storm system diving to the south. This cold blast, though, shouldn't be very long. As soon as the storm system moves out, southerly flow returns, bringing in warm, moist air, which could set up a severe weather event. It just depends where all these factors line up. You can see the storm system starts diving to the south. You got a low pressure. You got moisture coming out of the Gulf right through here. You got warm, moist air. and there could be another severe weather threat down in here. Meanwhile, up in the northwest, you got some rain and snow in the mountains, and there's also a little bit of snow up near the Great Lakes. After that, I won't get into the specifics as we're going farther out and uncertainty increases, but you can see storm system after storm system continues to affect the United States, all bringing snow and a severe weather threat. And this just keeps on going as we go into March. As for snow amounts with this big storm system that's coming into this weekend, as far south as Texas, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches, up through Arkansas, a couple inches possible. And then as you go up into the northeast, it really starts getting cranking, with over a foot possible in some spots, especially areas like central Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and northern Vermont. You also got some light snow across parts of the central United States, Kansas, Nebraska, much of Missouri. You guys could all see a couple inches of snow. Up in the northwest, you can see up to a foot of snow in higher elevations of the mountains, locally higher. Here's a look at temperatures compared to normal, and you can see as we go into the weekend, as that trough moves into the United States, very cold air comes into the central United States. 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 degrees below average in some spots. And you can see as that trough moves to the east, so do these temperatures. Saturday is looking very cold for the eastern half of the United States. And you can see as the storm system starts to move out, that cold air quickly moves out, and we get a warming trend across much of the United States. We start getting temperatures 10 to 15 degrees above average as we go towards the middle of next week, which sets up the stage for potential severe weather events. I won't go into specifics on that because that is 8 to 10 days out, and there's way too much uncertainty. But that's what the overall pattern is suggesting. And as we go farther out past that, maybe some cooler air across parts of the United States, but overall it's just going to be a big flip-flop. But what we do know this weekend is that storm system is going to move through, bringing snow to parts of the mid-south that haven't seen much snow this winter. Up through the northeast, most of this is going to be a bit inland, so areas like Boston, you're not going to receive as much snow out of this. But after that, temperatures are going to be well below average, anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees below average for a couple of days. And then things are going to quickly warm back up as we go later into next week. Aside from that, we'll be looking out at severe weather events as we go farther into the month, as well as the threat for heavy snow shifts back into the central and northern U.S. Winter should be coming to an end for areas of the south after this storm, but we will continue to keep an eye on things. Anyways, that's all I got for today's video. I know it's kind of brief, but I wanted to go over the next few storms over the next week or so and then give a general look past that. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, be sure to click that like button and subscribe for all your weather needs. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day.